It's beautiful.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday of When Black Women Gather. I'm Helen Higginbotham, Miss Higgy. I think everybody knows that by now, but sometimes I forget to introduce myself, assuming that people know who I am. This Sunday, we're going to talk about my body, my temple, and we have an interesting program lined up for you. For those of you who got the email, you know that we're going to start out with Sharon leading us in some yoga activities, which I need. I don't know about the rest of you, but learn to relax, and we can do them from our chair, she tells us. And then Maisha is going to lead us in tribute to our ancestors and share with us a Black history fact. And then Lola is going to come on and talk to us about healthy eating and how our ancestors use food for medicine. And we've kind of gotten away from those kinds of traditions. So it should be an interesting afternoon. So welcome, everyone. If you keep yourselves on mute, I would appreciate that. And I guess after each section, you can ask questions. So when Sharon's done, you can, ask questions of her, and then we'll, do it piece by piece since it's different sections. So with that, I'm going to bring Sharon on screen. Hey, Sharon.
Hey, hello. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, Helen, for this opportunity.
Yeah. Let me tell you a little bit about Sharon and I. Go back a little bit. We're both Howard girls, but we were definitely at we were at Howard at the same time. I don't even remember how we met now. You meet so many people.
We met through Sandra, because I was thinking about that.
Okay.
Yeah, were you there when Sandra was there?
No, I was there now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it's so interesting that you meet people and keep in touch. And Sharon tells me that when she was introduced to yoga when she was in high school, which is interesting. You said you were dealing with acne, eczema, allergies, and things of that nature that led you to yoga. So you'll have to share that with us. And it remains an interest of hers, and she has several certifications. She's working on one now called Yin Yoga. I have no idea what that is, but I'm sure you're going to tell us. She's created something that's called chair yoga, which I hope we're all prepared to participate with her to do today. And she actually has started a couple of LLCs, and her current one is called SAGE-ing WO+MEN. And she's going to tell us about that too. And I'm sure be looking for our support of that. So I'm going to put myself on mute, Sharon, and it is yours.
Thank you, Helen. I just want to acknowledge how much I have enjoyed our connection and our friendship. I love your voice. Every time I go somewhere with you, you are the one who has the intelligent question in the group, and I love that. And I love this, how you brought us together and how this has grown and evolved. And I just really want to acknowledge you for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you for this opportunity. I'm happy to see everybody here. As Helen said, I've been doing yoga for a long time. To me, it's a long time, over 30 years. When I first started yoga, I saw hardly any Black people at all. Now it's much more popular. I'm seeing a lot more people in the teacher role and a lot more people who are actually taking yoga. So I'm really happy about that, because I always say we as a people need yoga more than anybody to deal with the stresses and, just what we've been dealing with in life. I'm trying to get a gallery view here because I just wanted to get a sense of, and maybe in the chat you could say yes or no, people who have done yoga before in the past in any way, shape, or form, either a hand or a chat, yes or no. Okay. All right, I see a couple. So, okay, very good, very good. I'm seeing it come in through the chats. Very good. Great. So, as Helen told you, I've been doing this for a long time. One of the gifts of COVID, and I always like to talk about the gifts of COVID, is that I've been able to practice my yoga every single day. I mean, I don't think I have missed 10 days since COVID started. And I have to say it has kept me balanced and sane. It's helped me deal with the fear and the isolation. I've managed to lose weight during COVID. So, there are a lot of benefits to doing yoga, and I'll just name off a few before I get started. You know, regular practice, and you do need to practice regularly, but even, you know, 5 minutes a day will give you some extra energy and some benefits, but it can help improve your joint health. It increases your mobility, your organs function better. It helps you focus and concentrate and quiet down your mind, quiet down a mind that's overactive, so you get better rest, better sleep. It helps relieve fatigue. Helps you get to know and accept yourself better, contributes to physical and mental balance. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But I have to say, it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. The other thing that's come out of the COVID pandemic is my events business. I started an events business in 2002. And it just completely went to pot because nobody was really doing in-person events. I have been doing some virtual events, but I've also decided that now I really want to put to use and share the experiences that I've had and the benefits that I've had through yoga. So I'm starting a wellness and lifestyle business. And one of my first events is coming up in March. It will be in Costa Rica. We're taking a group down there. We're doing yoga, breath work, crystals, sweat lodge, artisanal tea ceremonies. Some people are doing plant medicine, catamaran cruises. So it's all about transforming your life through these different practices, through adventure excursions, through travel, through connecting with other people. I will put my email in the chat when I'm done. And if anybody's interested, please feel free to reach out to me, or if you have any questions about anything. All right, so I'm going to get started. I know we have a big program. I'm going to put a timer on because we're only going to be doing this for 15 minutes. And everybody just, hopefully you're in a chair. Ideally, you don't have arms, but even if you have arms on your chair, you're okay. Hopefully you can see me all right. I haven't done a Zoom yoga class before. But if you would just sit at the edge of your chair and sit up nice and tall and think about your crown. All right, ladies, and I don't know if we have any guys with us, but think about your crown lifting up and think about your posture, your spine nice and straight. Your hands are resting on your knees. And we're going to take a few moments to just draw the attention within. So we do that by focusing on the breath. So just sitting nice and still, pressing gently into the floor. You'll feel a lift the spine up, and close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Just close your eyes and take a few moments to notice your breath. Notice how your breath moves in through the nostrils, breathing deeply, and out through the mouth, sighing the breath out. It's called the cleansing breath. And again, breathe deeply in through the nostrils, all the way up to the top of the head, all the way up to the crown. Imagining the breath just igniting and energizing the brain and the mind. And then exhale, just let the breath fall out of the mouth with a sigh. And let's do that one more time. Take a deep breath in. Imagine filling the body up with a beautiful white light, energy. It's known as prana in yoga. It's the energy of life that comes into the body through the breath. And then let the breath go. Just relax. And now, if you would just drop your arms down by the sides of your body. And we're going to deepen the breath in the body. So use the arms and stretch all the way up. Bring the arms up wide. Look up to the hands as the palms meet. And then bring the hands down in front of the chest in the prayer position. And let the arms float down again. Inhale deeply. So again, we're energizing the body with the breath. And then we're also energizing the energetic field that's around the body, and bring the hands down in front of the chest. Some people know it as the aura, right? It's the energy field around all of our bodies. And we just want to stimulate and energize our field externally as well as internally. And bring the hands down in front of the chest and just hold for a moment pressing the thumbs into the chest, pressing the heart center into the thumbs. And again, stay with the breath. The breath is one of the key factors in yoga. So just if the mind starts to wander, if you start worrying about what's for dinner or what happened earlier this morning, just let it go. Bring the attention back to the breath. And then let the hands rest on the knees once again. And we're gonna relax the muscles in the face. One of the things I like about yoga, chair yoga too, is that you can do it, we're all like stuck to our computers now with Zoom and all this business. So it's good to take a break every hour, take 5 minutes, or every couple of hours, take 10, 15 minutes. And I also want to add, I didn't create chair yoga, but I did create a series of chair yoga practices for a medical doctor who was looking for something for his patients who didn't have the mobility to get up and down on the floor, who were a little older in age. And so that's how I created this series. I've also taught in a lot of senior citizen centers around the city. But anyway, we're going to do something kind of silly looking right now. It's called the lion pose. A lot of people say it helps, lift the skin. It's like a natural facelift, and it helps to open up the throat. So if you start feeling a scratchy throat, you can do this practice. I'm going to do it once. It looks crazy, but it's okay. We're in a safe space here. So what you're going to do is inhale deeply, fill the body with the breath, and then you're going to exhale and blow it out through your mouth. Stretch your face, stretch your eyes, stretch your tongue all the way down. So it looks like this. Okay, I know. I hope everybody's laughing. Have some fun with it. Let's do it 3 times, okay? Take the breath in, breathe deeply, and then roar, let the breath out. So you're stretching your face, stretch your tongue, stretch your eyes, your forehead, everything. And then notice how you're starting to feel around the face and the head, getting some stimulation and some energy moving up there. Let's do it one more time. This time, add your fingers. So as your hands are on your knees and you're stretching your face, stretch your fingers and arms as well, okay? So here we go. Breathe deeply in and let it go. And then relax. Notice how that feels. I like to take a few minutes in between all the poses just to integrate and to observe and to be aware of how the different poses affect the different parts of the body. So just take a moment and breathe in. Notice how the mind, the head is feeling facial muscles right now. Let's do a little to release the neck. Okay, so these are I'm doing real basic foundational poses right now. Just to be gentle. It's our first time together, but it has benefits for everybody, advanced and beginners, seniors and young people. So here we go. Sit up nice and tall and drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Now my sense is, okay, you're reversed. So drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Feel the stretch along the left side of your neck. Take a deep breath in. Let the breath go. Feel the stretch along the neck, along the shoulders. If you want a little more, stretch the left arm out, just like a 45-degree angle. Notice how that feels if it increases the stretch. Breathing deeply and relax. It's almost like you're breathing through your neck right here. Imagine that. Use your imagination a lot in yoga. Take one more good deep breath. And relax the hand. And this time use the right hand and stretch it up all the way up to the ceiling and reach for the ear. Now don't press the head, but take hold of the ear and like pull the ear, right? You feel that stretch there? Still stretching along the left side of the neck, and just actually pull and massage the ear. It's the area that has a lot of nerve endings. People do not really pay much attention to their ears, but just pull the ear and stretch the neck. And then slowly use your hand to just press your head up. Go slow, nice and gentle. Okay, take a breath. Now observe how that side of the body feels, that side of the neck. Probably you feel a difference between the sides. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So inhale deeply. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Feel the stretch. Breathe into that side of the neck. That's your right side, I believe. I get them confused because we're reversed. Anyway, breathe deeply. Now stretch that right arm out, reaching towards the floor, 45-degree angle. Feel the stretch in the neck area. Breathe deeply. Relax the hand back to the thighs. And now raise that left hand up and press it. Touch the ear and pull the ear. So stretching the ear and feel that stretch along the neck. Breathe deeply. And relax, good. And then release the arm down. Use that hands to just gently help you press the head back up. So you don't want to like scrunch, it's a fragile area here, right? So just go nice and slow, take it easy, breathe deeply. And just a little, we'll do the shoulders now, okay? So we're just gonna rotate the shoulders. So bring the shoulders forward, lift the shoulders up to the ears, squeeze the shoulders back. This is really good for the posture, and lower the arms down. Keep going. Sorry, I'm still trying to get that gallery view so I can see whoever's on. So roll the shoulders forward, squeeze up, squeeze back, open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades behind you and roll down. And one more time. Rolling forward and squeeze up and back and down. Now we're going to go the other way. So squeeze back, lift up, use the breath too. As you come forward, the breath releases. And as you go back, you're inhaling. So squeeze back, lift up, roll forward and down. One more time. Squeeze, lift, forward and down. Good. And relax. Just shake it off a little bit, shake it up a little bit, and then tune into the breath and observe how the body feels. A little more to loosen up the shoulders and open the chest. Put the hands on the shoulders, 4 fingers in front, thumbs in the back. And bring the elbows down, touch them in front if you can. Press the elbows up to the ceiling, open the chest, breathe deep in, and exhale, relax down. Good. And again, here we go. Bring the elbows in front to touch. Press the elbows up front, up to the top. Squeeze back, open the chest, and down. One more time. Here we go. Yes, elbows touch. Lift up as far as you can. Open and down. Let's go to the back. Squeeze back, roll up, forward and down. Use the breath. Breathe in and lift. Exhale and down. Last time. And squeeze. Breathe. Lift and down. Let the hands rest on the lap. Take a couple of breaths. Observe how the body feels. And just notice any sensations, any tingling, any heat. And breathe. Good. All right, now we're gonna separate the feet kind of hip distance. Press the feet into the floor. Use your left elbow and rest it on the left knee. Use your right arm. So the hands kind of hanging down. Use your right arm and lift it up, first straight up to the ceiling. So feel the stretch. We're stretching the side body now. So one of the things that's also key about yoga is working with the spine and creating flexibility in the spine. They say in yoga, you are as youthful as your spine is flexible. So we always want to work the spine in like 4 different directions. So now we're stretching the spine to the side. And if you're comfortable, if you want a little more, just lower the arm towards the ear, upper arm towards the ear. Go as far as you comfortably can. Now, if there's pain, please either pull back or stop. It's not about pain. It's about stretch. It's about getting into the body. It's about feeling where the resistance is, and then knowing, okay, let me just stop here. Let me breathe. Let me let the body relax and let it stretch a little more. Let's slowly come up. Reach up to the ceiling. Relax the arm down. Take a breath. Notice how the body feels. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So one of the other things about yoga is balance. So whatever we do on one side, we do on the other side. But also know that both sides of the body are not going to be the same. So don't expect to necessarily do the same stretch on either side. It often feels different. Put the right elbow on the right knee and just lean into it a little bit. Stretch the left arm up to the ceiling. First, just reaching up. Reach for the sky, reach for the stars, stretch. Breathe deeply, opening up the chest. You're like rolling your chest open. If your neck's okay, look up at your fingers. Breathe deeply. And then slowly lower the arm toward the ear if it's okay. And stretch. So you should really feel a nice stretch all the way down to the hip. Reach out through the fingertips. Breathe deeply. Open the chest. And slowly pressing into that thigh and lift up and relax the arm down. Good. Take a deep breath in. Observe how the body feels. I have 1 minute left. Helen, can I have 5? Okay. All right. So I'm going to move a little quicker now. So now we're just going to flex the spine back and forth. So it's like a cat-cow if you've done yoga before. Put your hands on your knees. Inhale deeply. Lead with the chest and press the chest forward. Squeeze the shoulders back. Okay. And now gently round the back, round the pelvis. Squeeze and stretch the back of the body now. A few more times. Inhale, pressing forward. Press down into the floor. Press the chest through the arms. And exhale, round the back. Chin comes down to the chest, looking down at the floor or looking down at your abdomen. 2 more times. Inhale, stretch. Pressing the chest forward, squeezing the shoulders back, and round the back. Let the breath go. So we're always coordinating the breath with the movement. Last time, inhale, stretch forward. And exhale, round the back. Good. And now we're going to do a twist to end up, because we've stretched sideways, we've stretched forward and back. Now we're going to twist the spine. And these are the ways that we help keep the spine flexible. So sit up nice and tall. Use your right hand, put it to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, lift the left arm up. And exhale, rotate the arm looking back. So decide where you're going to go. You can hook your arm behind the chair. I don't know if you can see that, or you can hook your arm on the bottom of the seat of your chair, or hold on to the side of the chair, but you want to rotate and look over the shoulder as much as you can. Okay. So bring that hand down, Helen. Come on. Yep. Either hook it over the chair or hold on to the back of the chair so you get a nice twist of the spine. And breathe deep. So you want to breathe and lift the spine up nice and long, breathing up through the top of the head, and imagining taking breath in from the crown, letting it flow straight down through the body and out through the pelvis down to the earth. So grounding. So feeling that connection between the earth and the heavens. And let's slowly come out. Just bring the arm back up and around to the front. We're going to do the same on the other side. Left hand on the outside of the right knee. Inhale, stretch the arm up. Deep breath and rotate, hooking the arm behind the chair or on the chair, or you can even bring your hand behind your back. Look over the shoulder, breathe deep. And release. Twisting a little more. And breathe in. And breathe out, exhale. Let's slowly come out with the arm up. Come around center to the front. Want to take just a few moments here just to breathe and relax. A short meditation, because the thing about yoga, it does all these wonderful things for fitness and for your body, but yoga really is designed to help prepare you for meditation. So I like to end, even if it's 2-3 minutes of just sitting still, hands on the knees, check the posture, close the eyes if you're comfortable, focus on the breath. Don't do anything, just notice an inhale and an exhale. The mind focused on the breath. It's like you're just allowing your body to breathe. And if any of the thoughts get in the way, again, if something bubbles up from what happened before, what's going to happen later, what's for dinner, just let it go and focus on the breath. A few more rounds of deep breathing. Imagine breathing deeply and filling the abdomen, filling the rib cage, filling the lungs all the way up to the top of the chest, to the top of the head, and letting the breath go. Again, observing how the body feels, integrating the benefits from the stretches and the breathing and the awareness that we've brought to the mind, the body, and the spirit. And then let's bring the palms together in front of the chest and say namaste. The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. So that's our brief yoga class. You can do this at your desk. You can do this on the side of your bed. You can do this on an airplane. I mean, if you don't mind, you know, people may look at you a little bit, but yeah, so thank you all. I'm going to put my email in the chat. I see my friend Diana Dudley on the screen. She was one of the first people that brought me to do a women's yoga retreat for Jack and Jill, like, what, 20 years ago, Diana?
20 years ago. I can't believe it. And it wasn't Jack and Jill. It
It
was
wasn't?
no, it was a sisters weekend that I created up at the Hilton in Rye a million years ago.
It is so nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too, Sharon.
Thank you.
Namaste.
So does anybody have any questions, comments, feedback, sharing how you felt, how it affected you, anything? I'm going to put my email in the chat, and please reach out if you have questions or, you know, comments or, you know, want some sessions. And also if you're interested in the wellness experience we're having in Costa Rica next month.
Thank you, Sharon.
I just want to say thank you. It's Darlene Walker. I needed to do something today, some kind of exercise today, because I'm doing the February challenge. And I just want to say I'm grateful for the 20 minutes that I've shared with you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And, you know, as my doctor says, I know that we're under a lot of pressure to exercise and get our heart rate going and all that. My doctor says just move. So, you know, even doing this, as gentle as it is, there are a lot of really good benefits for it, for your health, for your heart, for your blood circulation and all of that. So thank you, Darlene.
Thank you again.
I see a hand.
Thank you, Sharon. You can't see me, but I can see you and everybody else. This is Gail Wright Sermons, and I'm happy to see that I got so many of my friends to join today, at least 6 from all over. You got people from North Carolina and everywhere else. So I'm so happy about that. Where do you do this? How can we see you again? How can you set this up so that we can do this and, you know, compensate you for all of this goodness that you brought to us today?
Thank you.
So tell us
Gail.
you're going to start classes on Tuesday and we'll all be there.
I'll be honest, I am working on it. This is my first time doing a Zoom class. I'm not really doing any in-person classes unless we're like in an open air space, like in Costa Rica. I'm working on it, Gail. I will reach out to you because one of the things that I'm actually practicing I haven't been able to get the sound right to be able to get music to come through the Zoom. There's something I need to be doing. So I'm working on it, but thank you. I'm so glad you're here, and I would love to do some more sessions like this.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Well,
Absolutely.
and you could just give me a
Sharon, that was
up on your screen.
Helen.
And
Oh, Helen, I just wanted to tell Sharon, thank you, thank you, thank you. I practiced yoga for many years, but I stopped and I forgot how good it could feel. So you have inspired me to start again.
Okay.
Yay. Good.
Yes,
Good,
ma'am.
good.
and Miss Lopez, Sharon?
Yes.
Hi, dear. I just also wanted to say that I had ballet and modern dance for many years, and I believe in the power of meditation and the holistic thought. So the breathing, particularly with Mars, and all the things I've had throughout my lifetime, it was wonderful. These 20 minutes were wonderful. And I thank you for sharing, and we will be in touch.
Good.
I have several
Now,
things.
who is that? Is
I'm
that
a former dancer
I
too.
saw-
Okay, so we have our adagio.
I don't know who that is. That was just speaking.
Miss Taylor.
Taylor.
Oh, okay. All right, Miss Taylor.
Okay.
On a spotlight.
And I have bisons. My oldest son, my firstborn, is a bison too. And a couple of brothers.
That's wonderful. Helen, I see a lot of people expressing interest in the chat. Will there be a way that I can get that?
Yeah.
I can respond?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll send it to you. And we have a hand. Myra, you have a question for Sharon? Myra Womble?
I do.
I
I
see
think
your hand.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Thank you, first of all. I had put in the chat that my nephew sometimes teaches yoga and he's always on me about trying to do it, but I'm going to have a talk with him today and maybe you help convince me to let him work on me. But I also wanted to say, I think I know the answer to this question, but while we were doing it, and I was way off in terms of looking at you, but I was trying, I couldn't stretch the way you did or any of that, but I heard a lot of popping
In your body?
in my body. And
Yeah.
well, I think I know, but what was that?
I mean, it's not uncommon. I'm imagining that you're getting in touch with some parts of your body that you haven't really been in touch with maybe in a while. Would that be accurate?
Yes, it would.
Yeah. So it's, the energy's starting to move and connect. The energy centers in the body that yoga helps bring alive to help you heal and to help you feel better, feel good.
It felt really good. But apparently, like you said, because things would pop. My knees pop all the time. And it's a little bit embarrassing because I'll be with people and they'll say, I heard that, but I'm glad nobody was here today because everything was popping. And I'm like,
I hope that you will get to practice with your son, and I would bet that the popping will diminish.
okay, thank you.
Sure.
Those
I see
joints were
one more
popping.
hand. I see Corinne and Lola.
Corinne, go ahead.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Thank you. Yoga has not been something that I've tried over the course of the years, but I was looking for something really particularly because this month, there's always a theme for Black history nationally. And this year's theme is Black health and wellness. So I was looking to be more engaged. So I thank you for being here.
Timing was good. I didn't even realize that. Thank you.
Perfect. And we were trying to do stuff for Black History Month. See there? Who knew? How are you, Miss Corinne?
Oh, doing well, thank you.
All right, thank you. Miss Lola, you're next.
Hi, Lola.
Lola, Lola.
You're on mute, babe. You're on mute. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah,
Hi,
thank you
Lola.
so much, Sharon, for that. That was really relaxing, and it's good for us. I mean, we focus so much on food, but movement is very important because our ancestors moved around a lot, and we all need to move to get our health in order. And I really enjoyed that. And talking about meeting. I do have a space, but I'm in New Jersey. I guess you're in New York, right?
I'm in New York.
Sharon? Oh, you're in New York. Maybe we'll talk. We'll see if there's something we can do where we
Okay, I
can
would
get
love it.
together.
I
Yeah,
would love that.
I do have a space. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Cool.
great.
Thank
Great.
you, Ms. Lola.
Thank
Um,
you.
Yeah.
Miss Yvonne, how are you?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Yvonne.
Hi. I just had a question. I really enjoyed it, Sharon. I know that being a Christ follower, there have been some what do you call it? Resistance to yoga practice. I think
Being a what follower?
Christ follower, Christian.
I see. Yes, you're right.
And I think that people can use yoga in the ways they see fit for themselves. And that's just how I look at it. I really
Because
enjoyed
it's
it.
not a religion. It's really not. It can
No.
enhance any belief that you have.
That's what I believe too. I totally agree. And I had a question for you. What do you think has been the resistance of our people? Why is it that we were slow to get on board with it?
You know, it's an interesting question. And also I have a belief, and I'm finding more and more evidence about it, that yoga really did start in Africa and Egypt. You know, India claims it, but I'm seeing more and more stuff that says it really started with us.
Wow.
And I can only say that if you're not comfortable being in an environment that you're not used to, and you're not seeing people that look like you, and also because especially back when I started, and even a little bit now, you know, yoga has kind of this weird connotation, like you got to be so flexible, and you know, you're chanting and you're wearing robes and you're doing all this stuff. My goal has always been to make it more accessible. But you know, I guess I'm used to being in an environment, so I'm the only Black person, but I don't think everybody is ready for all that. You know what I mean? But I will say, and I always say, like, we need yoga more than anybody to deal with the stuff we're dealing with in this country. Like,
absolutely.
we just do.
Yes, I agree. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Of course, of course.
Ooh, so you'll have to come do this for us again, Miss Sharon.
You know, I would love that.
Okay. You guys
Thank
just
you.
say the word and we'll get Sharon back. She's with us a lot anyway, so thank you, Sharon. Love your support. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'd like to mention a book called Black Women's Yoga History.
I just found that book.
Stephanie, yeah, it's
found
amazing about how Black women for generations have been doing yoga.
I just found that book, and I must have 50 yoga books or more. So yeah, highly recommend
Drop it in the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
I take yoga with a group. I mean, I'm the only Black person in it, and we've been doing it ever since the pandemic.
I don't know who that is talking. I was going to try and spot.
This is Catherine.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to put it in the chat, the name of the book in the chat.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you, Catherine.
Okay, and Sharon, would you share your email address?
I'll put it in again. Did it come up the first time? It keeps going to a direct
It
message.
came up, but I didn't get a chance to write it down.
It's there. It's there, Sharon.
I'll put it again.
Okay.
It's Sharon at purplegiraffeproductions.com.
Black. Okay.
Okay. Miss Maisha is our next. Maisha, do you have your camera on for us?
Thank you, Sharon. It was great.
Yeah, you were. It was so relaxing.
Myself.
Miss Maisha.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? I unmuted myself.
I hear you. I'm trying to find you so I can put you on screen. That's my problem here. Hold on.
Can you see me now?
I see you.
While you're pulling me up, I just wanted to say, when I went to Kemet Egypt years ago, I took pictures in, I think it was Saqqara pyramid, the step pyramid, where they have yoga poses. So I actually have photographs where there are yoga poses. And then I also wanted to say with, Rosa Parks was an avid yoga person. She took yoga. Yeah, she practiced yoga.
Right.
Wow.
I just read that in this book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Black Yoga History. And the
Wow.
Delancey sisters, Pam Greer, and other people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you'll have to share it. Okay, so we're going to move on to the second part of our program today. And Miss Maisha Amen and I, God, we've been friends for a couple of years too. I just love my friends. I have friends I call, somebody can do anything I ask, so I love it. I share with you all Maisha's book. So Maisha has written a book called Spiritual Power is Within. And I hope that you all will click on the link. Maisha, I guess you can leave it in the link in the Zoom chat again too, but I put it in the link with the emails that you all have. But so Maisha is a nurse and an author and a professor. She and I met, we were working at the same college. And a few years back, we took a wonderful, wonderful group of women to Alabama. And in the middle of the Edmund Pettus Bridge, Maisha led us in libations to our ancestors. And if you all can imagine, like it was just 18 Black women in the middle of the bridge where, you know, John Lewis and, you know, Bloody Sunday happened. And it was just very moving. So when I thought about, you know, having somebody lead us in an exercise like that today, of course, I thought of Maisha, and she's also going to share with us a Black history fact. So I'm going to go off screen. Maisha, it's all yours. And thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the invite. You know, anything you ask, Miss Helen, you know, I'm ready.
I love
So this is Black History Month, which started off as Black History Week. So for this month, I thought that we would look at paying tribute to the spirit, the strength, and the soul of our ancestors, because we are continuing their legacy of making the world a better place. So the person who started Black History Month was Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who was born in 1875 to illiterate parents who were former slaves, and who Dr. Carter was largely self-taught during his early years, because during that time, I think the family was living in the Virginia area, and there weren't any schools. And so basically his early education, he taught himself to read, to write, to do a number of different things. And if you can imagine someone who started off with his parents being former slaves, later after graduating from college, he taught in the Philippines and traveled throughout Europe and Asia. And he became the second Black American after W.E.B. Du Bois to earn a PhD from Harvard. Because we always hear about, you know, Dr. Du Bois earning his PhD, but sometimes, you know, in some instances, we don't hear about the accomplishment, that significant contribution by Dr. Carter G. Woodson, especially from whence he started. So he was a historian, known as the father of Black history, who felt that African-American contributions were overlooked, ignored, and even suppressed by the writers of history textbooks and the teachers who use them today. And even today, we are still fighting the historical suppression and distortion of our history. Same tactic, different name. So what do they call it today, y'all? What do they call it today?
Critical race theory.
Critical race, that's right. Critical race.
Same.
Really?
But they just call it a different name. But it's a continuation of the you know, distortion and depression of our history, our contribution. So he also founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History in 1915, and the author of the pivotal book, The Miseducation of the Negro. One of my first teaching positions was at Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn, and that is a required text book for all of the students entering Medgar Evers College. And he launched Negro History Week. So it started off as Negro History Week, and it was in February of 1926. And when he was and one of the reasons why he started a number of different organizations, the writing, was because even though he was a historian, he had a PhD. He was rejected by the National Historical Association. So he launched Negro History Week in February of 1926. And there are a couple of reasons why he looked at that month to coincide with the birthdays of both Abraham Lincoln as well as Frederick Douglass. So when you think about the miseducation of the Negro, it continues to be an extremely relevant textbook. It came out in 1933. And it was a critique of American schooling and the distortion of Black life and Black humanity that existed in the established orders of knowledge. And one of the things with Dr. Woodson was he not only came for white folks, he also came for Black folks. If he thought that, that they were also not projecting our who we were as a people in the correct light. So Woodson also argued that such curricular violence was intimately related to the violence that Black people experience in the physical world. So his premise was that because of the image, and it's basically, it's the same even today, because when you think about Black people, when you think about a Black person, because of the way that we're distorted in society, we're looked at as being, being violent people, being, people who are, untrustworthy, people who have no history. So if the society looks at you as being a person who is not valued, then your life is not valued. So whatever they do to you is okay. And he's saying that because of the distortion of us as a people in the textbooks and the media and all those kinds of things, that was the premise for a lot of the behavior that we exhibit that was exhibited upon us on a daily basis within society. So it wasn't just a matter of just reading these stories in the textbook in the classrooms and it had no impact on the rest of your life. His premise was that it was the foundation for a lot of the things that we experience. In his book that he writes that there would be no lynching if it did not start in the schoolroom. So our history and our contributions to science, technology, spirituality, and humanity have continued to be suppressed and distorted since our removal from the shores of Africa. So this is not something that just started, 100 years ago, 150 years ago. Even, it started from the time that we were taken from the shores of Africa. And so we asked so the suppression of that knowledge includes Kemet, Egypt, being taken out of Africa. So if you even talk to most, you even talk to adults, you talk to children, lots of people, they say that, Egypt, Kemet is in the Middle East, it's not a part of Africa. And even the knowledge that Eve was suppressed was a Black woman. I can remember, and I still have the article, and I believe was it the Newsweek or was it, I think it was Newsweek that came out with that article about Eve being a Black woman. And I'm sure probably many of you remember that article years ago, but even that knowledge, that information was suppressed. Why? So you ask why? Why did they have to do this? Why did they have to, the narrative have to be distorted and suppressed? Why, you say? Why? Because you cannot subjugate a people who know and understand who, what, and whose they are. The sons and daughters of a noble people whose contributions to the development of humanity has surpasses all peoples of European descent. One of my favorite historians was Dr. John Henry Clark, and I'm sure that many of you who have, listened to him at his lectures, he loved to talk about how we had created these civilizations at such a high level in terms of spirituality, in terms of science, in terms of medicine. I mean, when I was in Kemet, I saw the instruments that were surgical instruments that were used during that time, you know, and so we had a high level of civilization. And so, and Dr. Clark used to say that we had developed all of this before the European had even developed a shoe. They were still walking around barefoot. They didn't even have a shoe, and we had developed all of these things.
Yeah.
So, so what I wanted to do was I wanted to pour. Woo. I wanted to pour a libation to the ancestors. And what I had thought about, you know, initially, just saying some things, but I think it would be good because we all have our ancestors. We all have the peoples whose shoulders we stand on, you know. And one of the things that they say in Kemet, and one of the reasons why they create the monuments, and they have stories, they have narratives, even in Africa, you know, you have the griot who can go back generations telling their story, because the thought is that as long as someone knows that person's name, knows that history, then it will continue to be a part of us. So what I wanted to do was to pour a libation for our ancestors, especially during this time, because, you know, so many people are experiencing difficult times. And it's, you know, and we've experienced difficult times before. And it's something that we will definitely get through. But we stand on the shoulders of giants who, even under the most horrible conditions, made this place a better world. And we thank them for enduring all that they endured. So we want to thank Dr. Carter G. Woodson. So, so I'd like for you, even though we can't hear it, but you're putting it in the universe. You're putting it out there to the ethers. You're putting it in the energetic field. So I'd like for you to say the name of a family member whose shoulder it is that you carry, that you stand on. I want to say the name of Nellie Pugh, who is my grandmother. And if you can say the names of your ancestors as I pour libation. Robert Pugh, who is my grandfather. My father, Isaac Wilson Sr. And my sister, Kathy Wilson. So if you can just say the names of some of your family members. And we also want to pay tribute to not only Dr. Carter G. Woodson, but we also want to pay tribute to some of our ancestors who we also stand on their shoulders, who may not necessarily be a part of our family members. So I want to pour a libation for Malcolm X. I want to pour a libation for Dr. John Henry Clark. I want to pour a libation for Betty Shabazz. I want to pour a libation for Cicely Tyson, because we also stand on their shoulders. So what I'd like to do now is we thank them, all of the known and the unknown ancestors who have carried us to this point in time. We continue their legacy to make this world a better place. We have been prepared for such a time as this. A better world is being born. We are experiencing its birthing pains. The world is shifting. We are being called to shed our identity and our own way of doing things that no longer serve us. This time requires a change in the way we are doing things. We are being asked to call on the higher vibration of grace and ease, because we know hard, we know hard, we know that, we know difficult, but we are being asked to call on the grace and mercy of the Creator and of our ancestors and let it be easy. for us to go through this transition. We ask the ancestors to continue to order our steps, give us the strength to endure, and to shine the light that will guide us through. And Ashe. So I thank you.
Ashe.
Oh,
Ashe.
thank you.
Ashe.
Oh, wow.
Ashe.
There, was that fabulous, y'all?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Yes.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great.
Thank you, sis.
Thank you.
Ashe.
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 Who else is on here and on the trip?
Ashe.
I saw Deborah Bracy. Is anybody else on here from our journey to? Did you see anybody else? Maisha? I don't even see Deborah now. Deborah, are you still with us? Deborah Bracy?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but I didn't go. It was one of the most unfortunate decisions
Oh, that's
in my
right.
life.
You were supposed to go. That's right.
Yes,
So,
yes.
what was our Deborah? What was our
If
Deborah?
I could only turn the clock back.
Yeah, tell her what she missed, Maisha. It was great.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that was fantastic. For those of you who know, we went down. It was supposed to be a large group, but it turned out to be 18, and it was such a wonderful group of women. We all got along so well that I remember, you remember, Maisha, somebody said that they kept thinking, like, you know how there's always one person in a bunch that's a problem? It must be because everybody is so wonderful, but it was just a great mix of women. And we stayed down there for 3 days. We did a whole lot of Black history. We went to the Lynching Museum. We had a wonderful day in Selma. We went to Birmingham and visited the church there. And it was just great. And it was somebody's birthday. It was just a perfect vacation. And unfortunately, COVID hit right after that. So we haven't been anywhere since, but we're going to pick it up again. Hopefully, since Maisha's telling us that good times are ahead, I'm going to take your word for that.
Always, 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 always. It's always the darkest before the light. You know, people say, oh, this is so hard. This is, you know, when we're going to get back to normal. Normal for me was hell. I don't want to get back to normal. I want a better world. I want a world of peace. I want a world where my son can walk out the door and he feels safe. You know, that's the world I want. I don't want a continuation of what we've had in the past, you know? And I think that, and I want a healthy, clean to pass on 7 generations in. We make decisions in this country based on, 2 weeks, what benefits us. Most indigenous people, they look at decisions 7 generations in, because then you're going to be concerned about the water, you're going to be concerned about the earth, you're going to be concerned about humanity, about people. So that's what I want.
Well, I'm going to listen to you and claim it with you. How about that?
All right. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For always, and I'm sure we'll have you back again because that was fabulous. So far, this has been a really relaxing morning, and it was nice just to think about the ancestors. Of course, I had to shout out Barbara Jordan when you were doing the politicians, John Lewis, Barbara Jordan. Wow, we have so many powerhouses that we've lost sight of. We got to remember, we need to remember, like you said, we have to celebrate who we are, and once we know who we are, nobody can take that from us. And my first trip to Africa was to Egypt, and you literally just walk around all day like, how did they do that? And then nobody can tell you that you're not brilliant after you see Egypt. So if you haven't been to Egypt, I can't recommend it strongly enough, and I'm sure you co-sign that, Maisha.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
So,
all right.
Who knows? After COVID, we might go to Egypt.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm going to bring Lola on. Miss Lola.
Yes, thank you so much, Sistah Maisha. That was lovely. It was very moving. Thank you. Can you hear me?
I do, and I'm going to bring you on spot.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this is my friend Lola. Don't you love that name? Tell them your real name, Lola, because that's her American name. What's your African name, Lola?
Oh, yeah. Oludamilola, which was shortened to Damilola, and then, you know, everybody calls me Lola. So I decided I'm not going to resist it.
But Lola is a wonderful person who I've known for just a couple of years, but just a powerful woman. When I first met her, she was selling these beautiful, beautiful African clothes. And now she's into teas and herbs. I think you still do the clothes, and her business now is called What Lola Wants. So she's still doing the clothes, she's doing the teas, but she's really into nutrition. And we've gotten away from the tradition that our ancestors used food to keep themselves healthy, right? And we've been made to think that medicinal things that we did were voodoo or witchcraft or just something negative. And of course it's not. And so I'm going to bow out, turn it over to Lola, and she's going to tell us about food as a medicine. So thank you so much, Lola. And I think your son's online, so make sure he's dropping your information in the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
It's all yours. Thank you so much for giving your time.
You're welcome. Yeah, I've been involved with food in terms of my curiosity. When I've been in this country for a long time, let's say, and when I look around, you see cuisine, everybody's cuisine, but ours. And along the same lines as what we talked about earlier, nobody wants to recognize us. It's almost as if Africa doesn't exist. We don't eat, we don't have medicine, we don't have anything. They just want to erase everything that we have. I remember growing up, seeing my grandmother cure kids who have convulsion. I was like 5 years old, and I would see a woman would rush her baby into my grandmother's house, and she'll put a spoon of this liquid in his or her mouth, and the baby will start crying and wake up. And so from a very early age, I believe there was something to these type of medication as opposed to the pills and the drugs that we're filled up with. And unfortunately now, even in Africa, a lot of people have adopted the Western diet, which we know has really caused us a lot of diseases. I mean, in the last few years, when we've been eating a lot of sugar and all these processed foods, we've suffered as a result. And fortunately now, it seems that the Western medicine is finally kind of recognizing food as medicine. And that's something all traditional cultures have believed in. Every other culture has always used food as their medicine because the body needs to be balanced. And there are certain things that the body needs to stay in balance. And when you put anything in your mouth, you have to assume that whatever it is either would build up your health or bring it down. And that's what food does. So if you eat the right stuff, you will stay healthy. And if something goes wrong, good food might help you, bring you back to health. My journey with this in this country really began in 2002 when a cousin of mine was very close to me. I mean, back home, we are all sisters. We grew up together. And she was diagnosed with cancer. She had been diagnosed in like 1998. And we were just looking for whatever we could do. We believed medicine was gonna, we believed food would help. Let's change her diet. But I look back now and I wish I knew then what I know now, because she even traveled to Europe to a place where they gave them certain types of food and the cancer disappeared for a while and then came back with a vengeance later on. Now, the way I believe what happened, you know, is when people use chemo and they treat cancer with chemo, stem cells remain. So the cancer tends to come back because once the stem cells grow back, then the cancer will be back. So it's important to have the right diet, the right environment, and sometimes there are foods that would even help to coax stem cells out to rebuild the body, or they can even strangle the stem cells of the cancer can be strangled and cut off from, just cut blood off of the growing tumors. They die. But our bodies are designed to do all of those things for us if we use the right stuff. I think we can probably, we probably all heard about President Carter when he had cancer. And they had pretty much written him off, thinking, there was nothing they could do, had spread to his brain. And then he checked into a place where he enrolled in this study on immunotherapy. And it was immunotherapy, the technique is to give like a shot of nutrients and stuff like that to get the immune system to work. Because if the immune system works, it will wipe out all the problems, the tumors in the body. Because the approach initially, when they did not believe in food, the approach was to just target different tumors with chemo. And then you kill the good and bad cells. So President Carter got lucky, and all the cancer was wiped out with his own immune system. But then they also found that certain people don't respond to this type of treatment. And they then discovered that there was a bacteria, there's a particular type of bacteria that the people who respond well always have in their gut. And then they found, okay, so how is it 20% of people respond and 80% don't respond? When they found out that the bacteria that's in the body of the 20% who responded positively could actually be made, produced by, if you eat the right stuff. So, and they found that like pomegranate, cranberry juice would provide the mucus type of environment that this bacteria likes to live in. And therefore they were able to provide, those people with the bacteria so that the therapy could work. So it all boils down to what we eat. A lot of the defenses that our bodies will provide for us, we can keep up and maintain them and help our bodies help us. Our body, they come up with superfoods here. And the body is what's really super here, because the body is very resilient. It always likes to go back to being balanced. And when you look at the African diet and traditional diets, that's whether it's Chinese, whether it's Indian, all over the world, they are always connected with, they believe that all the organs are connected and your entire body will work for you. You just have to do the right work by just eating properly. So the gut, and I'm sure we've all heard that 70% of your immune system is in your gut. Yeah. The gut bacteria, we're born with, well, the immune system is made, not born. You can be born with certain, maybe limited immune system, but you can build your immune system up. Even when you have something that's genetic and all of that, you don't have to have whatever runs in your family. You can build yourself up and do the right things with food and all the other stuff, and get your body right. It's all about balance. So the gut has a lot of bacteria. And there's a doctor who says, we're really not just human beings, that we're made of human cells and bacteria cells. And in the past, Western medicine believed bacteria is bad, give somebody an antibiotic and then you kill the good and bad bacteria. So now they know better. In fact, the bacteria I was just talking about, they said if you use an antibiotic, it will kill that bacteria, because the bacteria doesn't want that kind of thing, you know, or too much sugar will kill that bacteria. So a lot of the sugary stuff and processed foods that we eat actually do damage to our bodies. So usually if you eat, it really doesn't matter what kind of diet you want, whether you will stay in good health. You know, a lot of fiber is needed in the gut because the bacteria in our system live on what we eat. Whatever you eat, your bacteria will eat. And if you eat the right kinds of food, they will provide you with the building blocks that you need to fix problems in your body. So a lot of fiber is necessary. They eat the fiber and then they produce the building blocks for us. And so that when you have inflammation, if you have a cut, for instance, your immune system will signals to your body, oh, we have a problem here, let's fix this problem. Blood vessels start to form. You see the swelling, that's the inflammation. Yeah, inflammation needs to stop though. It starts so we can fix the problem, but then it needs to stop at a point. So the body generally, if you're healthy, you know, everything will take place, it'll be cleaned up, then eventually the swelling will go down, it'll heal. But if you have a situation where you have chronic inflammation, where the body is constantly having inflammation, then we have a problem. You know, like we have diabetes and all of those other diseases, lupus and stuff. So that's where in such situations, it could be that you have too much blood vessels or too little, because even our blood vessels help our circulation. That's part of our defense system. But you can't have too much or too little. It just has to balance. So when you have too much, you could have blood, too much blood that's feeding tumors, that's feeding the cells that malfunction, because we have mistakes made all the time in our bodies because there's so much going on. But in order to make sure that those bad cells stop, you cannot provide them with blood. So if you have too much blood, they can hijack the blood vessel and grow. And tumors, you know, those bad tumors can grow at an alarming rate. So, so when we have problems like that, we need to focus on foods that would help us, maybe coax the good stem cells to start to fix problems for us in our bodies, or some foods that might just open up, fix our DNAs, you know, antioxidants. When you have malfunctioning of some stems, and you have foods that will fix all of these problems. Doesn't mean that we can't use medication at all. There are times when medications are necessary, but if you use them in conjunction with good food, you can have the balance and be healthy. The new approach now that one doctor, William Lee, came up with was, okay, he felt that if we have all these drugs and we keep giving people drugs to treat ailment, you know, you come in, we name the disease, we give you drugs. So what if we try the same thing with food? Mm-hmm. So he started testing foods. So he would take food and see how foods match up with medicine. And a lot of foods do better than medicine. Right. We take turmeric, for instance. Turmeric, if you cook with turmeric, we find that turmeric is an antioxidant, it's an anti-inflammatory. It helps with so many things. And you can even have tea that the turmeric tea. Last year, I had a torn meniscus that everybody thought, gee, this is serious. And the doctor wanted to give me medication. I said, no, I never took any medication for the torn meniscus. Throughout, I used turmeric tea. Turmeric tea solved that problem for me. I mean, I swear by it. Ginger is another one. That's an anti-inflammatory. That's really good. And it's good to cook with spices, with herbs. Herbs are really good. You get all the vitamins, you get all the macronutrients from those the spices and the herbs. I know back in Africa, I know my grandfather used to put, he had a little pouch and he would always put these spices in his breakfast every morning. I mean, I don't know what, I know there were spices and I wish I knew exactly what they were, but people knew that back in the day, and their foods, what they eat on a daily basis, when you look back, their foods are generally good for any time of the day. You could have beans in the morning. You can have beans for lunch or beans for breakfast for dinner. And they would take beans and they would make all kinds of dishes from beans where you wouldn't even recognize it as beans anymore. They would ferment foods. And now we know fermentation is really good. Fermented foods are really good for us because they increase the bacteria in our gut. So they ferment foods. There's one food they call iru. It's really locust beans and fermented. They will make stew with that. And there's another one, egusi, and they will take like melon seed and ferment it. And so every culture has its own. If you have fermented food in your family, you could get the recipe, and that, those things help you because they provide the bacteria in your gut or the food for the bacteria, and that just enhances what you already have. And now I think I spoke about fiber, beans, grains. Grains are great. A lot of plant-based foods are good for us because that's what our ancestors ate. They ate meat. Even when they ate meat, a bulk of what they ate will be plant-based. I'm not here to knock meat. If somebody enjoys meat, they should eat it, but eat the good meat. Make sure it comes from a good source, that it was conscientiously bred. I mean, now we hear about grass-fed beef. Yeah, that's better than the ones that they just pumped up with all kinds of garbage. They say you are what you eat. And there's a saying also, they say, it's not the cow, it's the how. So how do you get the meat and how do you cook it? How it all matters. How we fix the food matters. So if it's closer to nature, it's good for you. Just we should always think about that, because when you read, it's good to read labels. I read all the labels and anything I buy. Usually, if it's more than 3 ingredients, I'm not buying it. If I can't pronounce it, I'm not buying it. If it doesn't look for me, it sounds like a chemical, I'm not buying it. Because we shouldn't be eating chemicals. Our bodies don't recognize those things. And there are things that I think as Black people, we have to be careful about, because I always say, I'm not eating what my ancestors did not eat, because I don't believe that my body will recognize those things. They're foreign to us. A lot of us might not be able to tolerate certain things that other people can tolerate because it's just not, it's not what our ancestors ate. So I'm very mindful of that. So plant-based is very important. And what you drink is also part of your food. So when we talk about teas, they find, in fact, this guy who, Dr. Lee, talks about green tea. He talks about black tea. they're very good for you too. But nobody, there's tea in Africa too. We have rooibos in South Africa, rooibos and honeybush, and they're very good. They're good for diabetes. They contain they have polyphenols and all the other, they're antioxidants. They have all of these benefits that we get from green tea as well. So if you don't want any caffeine, that's an alternative, rooibos and honeybush. So I mean, green tea has caffeine, but it's still very good and beneficial to our health. Dr. Lee was talking about his uncle, I believe, great uncle, who lived to 104. And he said his uncle drank maybe 6 to 10 cups of green tea every day. Yeah, but my grandmother lived longer than that, and nothing was wrong with her throughout her life. She lived a very long life. She didn't have anything. Well, she had a cataract surgery. That was all. She had all her teeth. She had everything till the day she died. So, and she didn't eat junk. It's really important to feed our bodies with the right stuff. And okay, yeah. So in terms of teas, rooibos, yeah, ginger, turmeric, even dark chocolate. I mean, dark chocolate has caffeine, but not the chocolate that we buy in the stores that are loaded with sugar. That a lot of times they don't even contain a lot of chocolate or a lot of cocoa, because the chocolate comes from the cacao. If you get 70% in any kind of chocolate, you're lucky. But at least 70% is what you need to really get the beneficial effects. And it's funny now that it was tested. They say that the coffee, chocolate rather, is good for your system. It is good for the heart. It's good for a whole lot of things. And most foods are good for multiple things. So it's not just one thing for doing just one thing. So if you get a diversity of foods, you will be covered, regardless of what your choice is, whether you want to be vegetarian or you want to eat meat or fish and stuff. Generally, if you have a diversity, you'll be able to eat across the board, eat a lot of good stuff across the board, and you will be fine. You have a balanced diet. There's so many diets out there competing, and I don't believe that one is necessarily better than the other, as long as you make good choices. And plant-based, most of your food will come from plant-based. And people want to sell things. They can have one plant-based item there and throw in a lot of other stuff, like sugar. Was it Helen that was telling me you bought honey and they put sugar in it? So you can't trust most of the things. You just have to make sure you check for yourself and make sure you're getting what's good for you. I mean, our bodies still need sugar, but you can get sugar from fruits. You get sugar from mango. I mean, when I bake, I don't use sugar. I make banana bread all the time. I never put sugar in it. Banana is already sweet. And if you know how to manipulate the recipes, you really don't need sugar. And then flour, you have to be careful. When they give you the all-purpose flour that's white, there's no fiber left in it. They've taken out the healthy stuff. So you have to make sure you're getting whole grains rather than the bleached stuff and the stuff where they've actually taken out the part that's nourishing, that'll give you the fiber. So even flour, you have to be careful what you use. And Yeah, I think I would like to take questions so that I can go in the direction that people want me to go, so that I can address specific questions.
Sounds good.
Hello, Miss Lola.
Yes, hi.
Yes, hello. Thank you very much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I have a question for you concerning sickle cell anemia.
Mhm.
Now, what would you advise a person to take concerning foods concerning sickle cell anemia?
Mhm. Okay, now, in terms of, yeah, because that's more, you have a blood issue going on with sickle
Yes,
cell anemia.
right.
And
That's
one thing
genetic.
I want to say also is that we are all unique. We are all unique human beings. Our bodies are all unique. So what works for you may not work for me. Like, for instance, when I said that the immunotherapy worked for certain people, it didn't work for certain people. If they
Yes.
had gone in to check what those people had in common that responded positively, nobody would have known why it worked in person A and it didn't work in person B. So that's why sometimes, in fact, it's encouraged now that we try things, we try what qualifies as good food to see what works for you. Because good food, a particular good food may work for me and not work for you. So even in the tea shop, there are people who would say, "Oh, chamomile." I'll say, "Oh, they need tea for sleep," and I say, "Yeah, chamomile works," and they'll say it doesn't work for them. Chamomile may not work for somebody, and I know someone chamomile didn't work for her. Lavender worked for her. So sometimes it's difficult to just say, this is this particular type of food. I know with sickle cell, you may have an issue with iron.
Yeah.
Is that an issue?
Well, I'm asking the question for my son.
Mhm.
He has
Okay.
he has sickle cell disease.
Yes, I know, but I'm okay. So what is he deficient in any particular nutrient? Does he tend to, because I have a story on the blood kind of stuff, because I had an issue one time where this was 20 years ago. It was 2002. I was asked to check myself into the hospital, and the doctor said, if you don't check yourself in right now, you could drop dead. It turned out I didn't have enough blood. I had no idea how it happened. 9 days in the hospital. To this day, I don't know what happened, but my blood was dangerously low, and I ended up with blood transfusions and everything. And after that, I was told that it must be that my blood was low, and I was asked to take iron. So I was taking the type of iron you take that pregnant women take. I was taking that on a prescription, and folic acid and all kinds of stuff. And when I decided I was gonna start to grow my own food and grow everything. So I started to grow herbs, a lot of herbs. I don't cook without herbs. I put all kinds of herbs in everything I cook. And before I knew it, I didn't need any more iron tablets. To this day, since 2013 was when I stopped using any kind of nutrients, any kind of supplements. All I use now are those herbs and spices, and I get all the iron I need. I get all the micronutrients that I need from herbs. So I don't know if you want to try that, because I know that sickle cell has a lot to do with the blood.
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes. And
Yes.
also, my son complains about joint pain.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's also some jaundice in the white of his eyes.
Mm. Okay, now that's the liver.
Sometimes it's not all, it's not a regular basis. Sometimes
Yeah.
he experiences these symptoms.
Okay. Yeah. In fact, I'd like to share some things with you. Later on, I can get in contact with you. And in terms of having the nutrients and everything like that, there's some things I can put together. I would love to help you. I'm a carrier myself, so I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you for those questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Lola will definitely leave your information and or just send a special chat to Lola or her son Osa, UCOSA. You can send him the information too, and he'll get it to his mom. Judy, you're next. Judy, Maxine, and then Leslie. Go ahead, Judy.
Hi, Lola.
Hi.
So I have two quick questions, and I think you may have answered one. One was whether or not you thought digestive enzymes were helpful. And the second one was really about your grandmother. Was she a person who moved a lot?
My grandmother?
Yes, you said she lived for a lot of
Oh,
ripe old
yeah.
age.
Oh, she she was a remarkable woman. She was very active throughout her life. She was just so active. I remember when I went to Nigeria in 2006, and she even told me how she wanted to be buried, how she wanted to be dressed. She told me. And my uncle said, "Why are you telling her all that?" She said, "I'm telling the person I know would listen." And and she was already 100 years old at that time. So she was, I would say, moderately active. She really didn't leave the home. She didn't have to work. I mean, even when she was younger, I don't know. She didn't leave the home to work, but she liked to cook. She did things, and until the day she died, she lived by herself, and she took care of herself. On Sundays, she would. I mean, every morning she would get up early and get dressed and put on something nice and put powder on her face. She just throughout her life she was like that. So I don't. The other question. Did I get what was the first question you asked?
The other question was whether or not you thought digestive enzymes were helpful. But you did mention something about using spices a lot. So I'm not sure whether spices take the place of digestive enzymes for you, but I was interested in determining that.
Digestive enzymes.
To help absorb the nutrients in your food.
Oh, see, there depends on what you're trying to absorb. For instance, turmeric, I don't know if I mentioned this. If you're using turmeric, you need to add black pepper to turmeric to help your body absorb it. Otherwise, you're just taking turmeric to go right through you. So even my turmeric tea has black pepper in it, because it helps you absorb. So, there are certain nutrients that you need other things with to absorb. And I mean, it depends on what you're eating. For instance, what protein, plant protein. People say, well, plant protein really are not complete. And it's true. Back in the day, they knew, our ancestors knew, you eat beans, rice and beans, so that there you have a complete protein. That's why you have those combinations, because bean alone would not be a complete protein. Whereas animal protein is complete in itself if you eat animal protein. So that foods are paired that way for a reason. But to absorb, I think it depends on what you're absorbing. most of your, to digest food should not be a problem if you have enough fiber. If you have enough fiber, you have a lot of if you eat a lot of grains, a lot of, those kinds of foods, you really shouldn't have difficulty with your digestion. But I don't know.
That's
Is
good to
that?
know. I don't remember, you didn't mention the black pepper, because I don't cook a
Oh
lot.
yeah, that's
I use
yeah. So always add black pepper with turmeric.
turmeric.
Yeah.
Right, that's good.
Yeah.
What about with the ginger? Do you need to mix that, or just by itself it's
No,
okay?
ginger's all right by itself. That's
You're
as I
talking
know.
real ginger, the root, right? Because I buy mine in a shaker. You're saying buy real ginger?
Yeah, it's the root. Yeah, it's the root. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can cook with it, and you can drink ginger tea. The turmeric, ginger. I think somebody asked rooibos. Is that?
Somebody asked what?
It seems from the chat, did somebody ask a question about rooibos tea?
Somebody wanted to know about the brand.
Yeah, they put what brand?
Yeah, I
Yes, or
carry
even the
rooibos.
company, like just, you go online and sometimes you don't really trust the brand. So I was just curious.
Yeah, that's true. And I carry rooibos. I carry rooibos, and I can get your contact, or I'll give my contact.
Oh yeah, make sure you all, yeah, you guys can buy teas directly from Lola. So also, can you make sure to put that information in the chat so that they know how to get in touch with your mom? And then you know that you're getting good tea. How about that? Yeah, Maxine, you're
Yes.
next. Go ahead.
I'm trying to see.
Okay.
Is Lola?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go
I
ahead.
Yes, I can hear you.
I have a terrible problem with sugar. What's the best way to get rid of sugar? Is it better to go cold turkey or gradual? Because if I have a choice between an apple or apple pie, I'm taking the apple pie. If I have a choice between oatmeal raisin cookies and oatmeal raisin or oatmeal, I'm taking the cookie. If I want carrots or carrot cakes, I'm taking the carrots. And they have sugar in everything, and by all these different names. Everything I eat is sugar. I think I need to go somewhere and have a complete sugar withdrawal.
Yes, and I remember hearing a doctor who said it's addictive. That sugar is addictive. That when you take sugar, you actually, you get all these hormones that that are produced, and he says it's like taking drugs, and that you need to withdraw from it sometimes. So a lot of people drink soda. Soda is added sugar. It says added sugar in anything. Ideally, you shouldn't be eating it. Honestly, that's not good for you. The added sugar, I mean, I think everybody can agree with that added sugar is not good for you.
So not even brown sugar, Lola?
Say that again?
Not even brown sugar?
Oh, please, it's all sugar. It's all sugar.
What about cane sugar? Cane sugar or molasses or stevia or anything?
You know what? Have you ever seen sugar cane? Sugar cane? Have you ever seen one?
No.
It looks like a stick.
Yeah.
It looks like the bamboo. It looks like a bamboo. And if you taste it, it really doesn't taste as sweet as the sugar we buy in the store. I'm always saying, how did they turn this thing into that? If you can, there are sweet. Okay, the one natural sweetener that I think is safe is stevia, not the stevia you buy in the shop, not the white stevia you buy in the shop. That's already been processed. So it's been something extracted and other things added to it. The stevia leaf, I grow the stevia plant, and if you take the leaf and you taste it, it's sweet. but it's sweeter than sugar. So you only need a little bit. If you put a teaspoonful of stevia leaf in your tea, you will not be able to drink the tea. It will have an aftertaste. It's really strong in terms of the sweetness. So I think, most people don't know how to use it, but if you practice using it, you can use stevia successfully. That is not going to do anything. Say that again?
Can I use it to make cookies and donuts and pies?
Oh, you know what? I have baked with it. I actually carry it in my store now. I have baked with it. And you just have to know, if you practice it, you'll figure it out. I make my own granolas, steaks or whatever. I make my own and I don't use sugar. I will use banana. You can sweeten things with fruits. You can use apples. You can use bananas. There's so many fruits that dates. You can use fruits because fortunately, fruits don't do the kind of damage to our bodies that processed sugar does. That's just it. And I'll tell you my story with sugar. In 2013, I went to the doctor and they said, the doctor said my pressure was high. And she started to give me a prescription. I said no. And she said, okay, I should go home and come back and monitor my blood pressure and come back. And the way she was talking at me, she just knew I was gonna need high blood pressure medication. I went home, I took a week off from work because I had a very stressful job. I cut everything white out of my diet, everything. Salt, sugar, flour, all of those things. I cut them out for the 4 weeks. And I monitored my blood pressure for 4 weeks. In all of the 4 weeks, my blood pressure did not go up once. So when I gave her the chart, I asked her, do I still need medication? She said no. And then I gradually started to put a little bit of salt back into my diet, but I never put sugar back. And I drink my tea without. I make sure, my teas, I buy teas that are tasty. They don't have to be sweet to be tasty. And if you want sweet, people like sweet teas, I have teas with cinnamon. Cinnamon will sweeten your tea enough. And even you can put cinnamon in your baked goods as well. When you make banana bread and stuff, cinnamon will sweeten your banana bread, where you don't need to put extra sugar. And then you have to train your taste buds. After a while, you will be off of it. Because when I started, I used to be a sweet tooth. I used to love sugar. When I started to get off of sugar, I could go to a conference where they have all kinds of good stuff, like, all the pastries. And I would say to myself, it's not food, it's made in a factory. And I walk away. I did that so many times. And now I have not touched soda in years. Pastries, no, I'm not putting those things in my system. They're not food. If you just make yourself believe they're not food, they're not food. You can make your own pastry. So, that, you said what?
I said we're going to move on to Leslie's because we've got a couple of questions. We need to get through the rest of them. Thank you, Ms. Max.
Okay.
Good information.
Thank you.
I'll try to put down sugar too. I have stopped sodas, but the thing is just to not have it in the house. I think as long as it's in the house, you're weak. So
exactly.
I was looking for it all over. I couldn't find a cookie, a donut, a piece of cake, nothing. I finally found one cracker and I put some jelly on it. I got it bad. But thank you, Miss Lola. You give me hope.
You're welcome. Yeah, you can. If I could get off sugar, you can. Because I was a sugar addict.
I am.
Leslie, unmute. and ask your question.
Hi, Ms. Lola. Thank you for the
Hi.
information you're sharing today.
You're welcome.
You answered the one question about BP, and my second question was about vitamin D.
Mhm.
So most African Americans have a vitamin D deficiency. I take a supplement every day. So I just need to know, maybe you can help with some added foods that I could add to my diet. I am vegan. I've been vegan for 3 years, and so I'm doing pretty good outside of the BP and I know the BP is too much processed stuff, but and the vitamin D.
Yeah, see, vitamin D, that's the only supplement I take because we're supposed to be in Africa. We're not. You know, we can never get enough sun here. And I take vitamin D, but you're vegan. So, I mean, sometimes I stay off of vitamin D and I eat eggs that are high in vitamin D, like eggland has high vitamin D. And fish, yes, some fish, salmon. But if you're vegan, I don't know of, well, yeah, omega-3, I can, I know, I'm sure you know, you can get that from flax seeds and, but vitamin D, I don't know where you will get it, unless if you get, it might be added. I think there's some milk now that maybe vitamin D will be added, like oat milk might probably have vitamin D added. Yeah, they're added. Yeah, almond milk maybe it's added, but be careful even with the milk, the so-called healthy ones out there. Some of them have chemicals. Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I make just about everything I eat.
Yeah,
So,
I make my almond milk.
Yeah. So, but
We're so, I remember being in Spain, and after the bullfights, they sell the meat. But I was so used to processed food. I didn't like the milk because their milk is not processed. I was like, I don't want that. And the meat, everything's fresh. And I feel like you can like taste the blood in it. We're so, I don't like fresh meat because we're so used to having, and I know whenever I'm in Africa, because if you're there for an extended period of time, it's just amazing. Your skin is clear, your hair is healthy, you naturally lose weight, which is just amazing because they don't have all that stuff in food. So yeah. So.
Yeah, you will lose weight if you eat right. You don't need to count calories. You really don't. You just eat the right foods, and the right foods generally will fill you up. Fiber will fill you up. So you're not gonna be hungry. Like with the sugary stuff, you never have enough of them.
Right.
You just, so you end up eating too much with those.
Thank you, Ms. Leslie. We got 2 more questions. Is anybody on the phone? Because those people always get neglected. Is anybody on the phone before we go to the next online question? If it is, just unmute and ask your question, please. See, most times
I don't really have a question. I just wanted to encourage Ms. Lowe to write a book because her information is very much like the author she mentioned, Eat to Beat Disease by William Lai. I just got it this week and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you read it, but what you talked about is basically what he's been studying for years.
Yep.
And I think, you could write a book yourself. But
thank you.
In the meantime, I would encourage everybody to get William Lai's book, Eat to Beat Disease.
Yes, you got that. Yeah, he's the guy. I mentioned his name earlier too. Yeah.
I remember you mentioned his name earlier, and I'm saying what you talked about is basically what's in his book, and you can write a book yourself based on the herbs and the experience you've had in Africa or other.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's very much the same.
Thank you.
This is Kim. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, hi.
This is Kim. I had an experience a few years, I'll be real quick. I had an experience a few years ago in an effort to try and lose some weight. And I cut out soft drinks and a lot of sugar. And I had found after a couple of days, I started to go through some anxiety. So with my trainer, I brought it up to her. And first thing she asked me, what is your sugar intake? I said, I cut it cold turkey. She says, you're going through withdrawals. So I asked her, what could I do about it? She said the simplest and most healthy way to do it is keep carrots around you, the vegetable carrots, because it's natural in sugar. And I did that. And after a few days, I felt fine. So whenever I get on a sugar low, I'll chew on a carrot or two and I'm just fine. Also, the lady that said she will take the apple pie over the apple, I was able to find in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, there is in Halo Farms area, that farm, there is a baker who bakes his apple pie with no sweeteners, no artificial, no honey, nothing that's packaged or made on his, by himself, like homemade. And I asked him, how is his pie so sweet? He said he uses about 8 different apples. And that's how he's able to accomplish the sweetness, because fruit's naturally sweet, and the tartness, because we all know that there are some tart apples. And it is the best apple pie I've ever had. The crust is homemade. There's nothing processed about it. But the 2 fruits or vegetables that help with the sugar intake was the carrot to cut back on the withdrawal symptom, and just to satisfy my palate is that apple pie in Lawrenceville.
Thank you.
Yeah. Miss Teresa, you're next. Hey Lola, let me ask you, my Aunt Lillian used to say that we should wake up every day and suck a half a lemon. Do you, you didn't mention lemons.
To have a lemon?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a citrus and it's high in vitamin C. So, citrus fruit. I've heard that with lupus, that when they give diet high in vitamin C.
Something's going on with your speaker. I'm not sure what's happening.
It's a cell phone. It's not
Yeah, I
her,
think
it's
some
a
of the
cell
people
phone.
on the call need to mute themselves.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Lola. I'm sorry. Sorry, Lola. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I heard that people with lupus, when they take a lot of vitamin C, that they do better and don't have as many flares. So yeah, I mean, it's like I said, a variety, whatever you like. Some people don't like lemons. So if you like mango, for instance, that's high in vitamin C. It could be lime. Some people like lime rather than lemons. So a rainbow, eat the rainbow. I mean, a variety of diversity of fruits, vegetables, grains. That's what we need. I even heard a doctor say, the goal is to eat 32 different plants a week. Yeah, I mean, it's not so hard, really.
I'm not a veggie person, so that's real hard for me.
No, because if you look at the beans, the grains, there's so many different types of beans, lentils, herbs. Yeah, if you count all of that, I can easily get 32 a week.
I gotta come hang out with you because I don't cook. So even if I do beans, they're coming out of a can. So that means they have lots of salt and other stuff in it. So
Yeah, see, that's where the salt comes from.
gotta learn how to do natural stuff. Miss Turner, what's your question? How are you? Where are you from? I don't think I met you before.
I'm great, thank you. I am in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and my connection to the New Jersey network is in Mount Laurel. My friend Janet Morrison is also on the line. And I have a daughter who lives in Montclair, but thank you, Miss Lola, for your information. I had a question regarding adults and children who experience anxiety and also have attention deficit. What would you recommend to aid with that?
Okay. For anxiety, I know that lavender is one tea that people have used for ages for anxiety. I mean, the word, the laver, where the names come from, actually means to wash. So lavender is good for anxiety. I have a tea that I've been told when I didn't expect that, but a lot of people have come back to say this tea just relaxes them and helps them relax and sleep or whatever. It's a tea I call hibiscus bliss, and it's fantastic. And then some people say it lowered their blood pressure. So that's, yeah, it's a tea with hibiscus. It has rooibos and honeybush in it. Yeah, and it has so I mean those teas work, I believe, work well for anxiety.
What about for depression? What for sadness? What can we drink?
For what?
Depression. Depression.
Oh, depression. Oh, I would say the same ones, especially the lavender. Lavender would work for that. Yeah. Because when you think about it, the anxiety, stress, if you can bring those down, yeah. And you have, you bring those down when you eat well. Yeah. And my personal thing also, cacao, chocolate. I hate to call it chocolate because then we think about the sweet. Yeah, because it brings out those happy hormones. It allows your body to really secrete those happy hormones. That's what chocolate does. But I take chocolate in its natural form. I actually eat the cacao. I carry it in my store now. I eat the cacao itself. Cocoa nibs. It's 100% cocoa. It's not sweet. It's an acquired taste, I guess. But I remember as a little girl, my grandfather had a cocoa farm. So I would see the cocoa when they brought it from the farm and all that. And I used to eat that as a child. So I already had the taste, already acquired the taste. It's not sweet, but it's delicious to me. And it's a taste anybody can acquire, really. And in tea, put it in tea, you could make your chocolate. That's not the sweetened stuff we get at the store. If you get the real chocolate, the real cocoa, the one that I have, and you can sweeten it with stevia. That's something I even do. Like I would sweeten because I know how to use stevia where it's not bitter. Yeah. So I could actually make it where you can add water and have your chocolate drink. That's not fake.
Sounds good. Is that any more questions, Ms. Turner? Are you good?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
This is a thank you so much. And come again. And please come again. So, Ms. Lola, you were wonderful. Thank you so much for all the information.
Thank you.
Unmute.
I don't know that okay. I'm sorry.
go ahead. Oh, I thought somebody.
Yeah, I was just looking at the questions that came through the chat just
On
to
the
make sure I
chat.
got.
Yeah,
Yeah, to
somebody
make
asked
sure I got
about
everything.
nuts. Somebody asked, are nuts healthy? Do you recommend?
Oh, very much so. Nuts, seeds, grains, all those are great for your microbiome, for your gut bacteria. Yeah, they're very important. Yeah, if you add all of that, you have so much variety. Yeah.
You mentioned fiber. So what foods do you recommend that we eat for fiber?
Yeah, that's what we just listed. All of those you get fiber. You get your fiber from all of those things. And when you look at you know how people say, don't eat white rice, eat brown rice?
Yes.
Brown rice has more fiber. Brown rice has fiber. And oats, you know, all of the grains, a lot of the grains, but a lot of beans have a lot of fiber. So you get the fiber, you get in beans, you get the fiber, you get the iron, you get the protein, you get a whole lot from them.
Great, wonderful. Well, thank you. I cannot thank you enough. I'm sure
I have a quick question. I didn't know how to raise my hand, so sorry.
ahead.
Do you have a website, Lola?
It's gonna be on soon, but I'll give you my number.
Okay, you did post your number, 973.
Okay, it's going to be added now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you can
there's
call me anytime.
Okay. I was asking because I wondered if there was a place where we could see some of the things that you say you carry.
Oh yes. Where are you?
I'm in New York City.
Oh, okay, you're not far. And you know, during COVID, I mean, there are times that I would even dial somebody on WhatsApp, and they can see the store and they can see what I have, and yeah, I do that. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. Well, maybe I'll call you and we can make an appointment.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question? Diane, you can come again. Don't just be a stranger, because Sharon will be back.
I would love to, as long as it was Gail that actually told me about this meeting. So as long as I know that it's happening, I'll be here.
We're here every Sunday.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so Miss Lola, thank you so much. Everybody knows how to get in touch with Lola. This has been a fantastic afternoon. I'm trying to get us back to gallery view. Hold on. Let's see, what am I doing? Okay. So thank you, Lola. And you all know how to get in touch with her. And Lola's here with us every Sunday. So also, if you lose her number or forget how to get in touch with her, you can find her here in the chat. So we are going to close out this session. We're going to stop recording, and please hang out for a minute. We're going to talk a little bit about the Whoopi Goldberg situation and whatever else is on your mind from the week. And then we're just going to call it an evening. I just have to say thank you so much. I've left in the chats for you the video link from last week. So if you missed it or if you were here, it was when we talked about women and wealth, and that was a good session as well. So grab that information for you. And this video too will be available on YouTube. Please, join us on Facebook when Black Women Gather, and also join me. What was I going to say? Sign up for the YouTube page. It's Miss Higgy, MISS. I am not a feminist, so I use MISS on purpose. Miss Higgy, Higgi, and you can find that on, once you pull up the link that I just sent you, you'll see. You can subscribe when you go there. And I think that's it. We're going to talk a little bit, if anybody, all of these women who are on here today are just members of When Black Women Gather. So, everybody in our circle has something that you can offer that is valuable to other people, to other women. So, if you want to present something, please just let me know, because it makes my life much easier. We're already planned out for the rest of next week. We're going to have a woman who's going to do a virtual tour with us through Harlem. So please come for that. That'll be for Black History Month. The following Sunday, we usually use that third Sunday to talk to Black people internationally in another country, usually Black people who have, moved, relocated somewhere. And we're actually going to do Haiti. And believe it or not, Black people aren't moving to Haiti. The only people we are aware of who move to Haiti are white folks. And the whole point of it is for us to, see beyond the possibilities. So we're just going to talk to folks in Haiti because Haiti's got a lot going on. And I think it'll be a very interesting conversation. So I hope that you will tune in for that. That will be, I'm losing my Sundays. That's the 20th. And the last Sunday, I'm still working on something. So again, I will keep you all posted. And I too have a website that my girlfriend has put together and I just haven't gotten it going. And shame on me, right? So I will get that up and you all can find information there. But in the meantime, you know how to reach me. Those of you who are on Google Group, please continue to drop information there because once you leave an email there, I have only loaded like 900 names, but that's a lot of women. So with one email, you can hit 900 people. I'm going to leave in the chat a link for Cornel West Masterclass. I sent it out on the email, but not everybody got it. So I'll leave that for you. Be sure to watch it. It's Cornel West and Angela Davis and Nicole Hannah-Jones and Kimberly Crenshaw. It is just powerful. It's free for the month of February for Black History Month. And I just binge watched it the other day. It's fabulous. So if we don't celebrate us and learn about us and make sure our history counts, nobody else will. So that's our job.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm going to start recording and just thank you all for coming and hang out for a minute more if you can. If not, I understand. We do this every week. It's the party after the party. That's the real party.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much for coming and I'll see you next week.